Hi guys, I'm Dr. Zainab Vora, your educator on Unacademy. In this video, I shall be talking about your strategy for the NEET PG 2023 exam and how to integrate this along with the plus course that we're starting off with tomorrow, which is going to be a rapid revision course of all 19 subjects that I shall be taking for you guys. So let's go to the timetable that I have made for you, which you can just modulate according to whatever stage you are at. So this is something which is ideally a time map that you can have in your mind, a time frame that you can follow. So if we have 5th of March as the exam, which NB has already announced, this is how you should plan your timetable such that you can fit in at least 3 rounds of revision. The first and the most important cycle that we have will be starting from this point. So let's say you're starting just today, you're seeing this video and you're thinking that, all right, let me just start preparing. This is ideal for you, right? So if you're starting say today or say tomorrow, you'll have approximately 15 weeks till 31st of December. This does include a lot of buffer days also, which I'll let you know, but it's approximately 15 weeks wherein you want to give a very, very good read of all 19 subjects. This is when you do the bulk reading. This is when you do the bulk grasping, because after this point, it's all going to be about memorizing and revising facts. So this is where, you are going to be mastering concepts, you're going to be mastering the subjects, and basic aim in this first round revision is going to be the filtering of the content that you shall be doing for your next round of revision. So you want to mark out the things that you want to revise one more time, is what is going to be the agenda in the first round of revision. So one, you want to grasp all the concepts which need to be grasped. Secondly, you want to mark out the stuff that needs revision. Try and consolidate every single subject into one set of notes or one set of information place wherever you are consolidating things, such that your 2 rounds of revision become more efficient, because you know that everything has been collected in one place and it's not scattered here and there, and sometimes you just want to give up and start afresh. So make sure everything is there in one place, at least for every subject. Even if it's a different resource for every subject, everything per subject needs to be in one particular place. So these are all your aims with the first round of revision, where you do a detailed, thorough understanding and reading of all the subjects. This is the most time you will ever get for any subject, because in the next round from January to 15th of Feb, it's all going to be very bang on information specific. It's going to be more fact specific that you want to revise so that you can remember it on the day of exam. And final 15 days is all about BTR. What is BTR? It's a buri tarah rato, right? It's a phrase that my students would know. So BTR is something that we have had previously. So this is something that you revise right before the exam. This is stuff that needs revision again and again. You need to revisit, and you sometimes have to memorize this. There is just no choice. So things like IPC section, things like developmental milestones would fall here, wherein you have to just read them and just memorize them right before the exam. So this is how the timetable should be ideally designed within those 15 weeks. So just to give you a detailed map of how do you go about those 15 weeks, right? Because that is the most important. So what I've done is I've divided the subjects into 3 parts, right? These are the short, and I like to call them cute subjects, because they are very, very scoring. These are all subjects which are very easy to read, easy on the brain, easy on the mind, and they are very high yield, because whatever amount of time that you give to them, that is the yield that they will give you, right? So it's something wherein anything that you read, it's something that is going to be coming in the exam, right? So that's what we call as high yield subjects. So whatever amount of time you're going to be dedicating, it's going to be worth it, right? So these are subjects which we have to ideally finish in less than 3 days. So 2 to 3 days, maximum of 3 days we have to finish all of these subjects, which includes your mostly your final year shorts. So we have ENT, ortho, anesthesia, we have psyche, derma, radio, and forensic. So these are definitely subjects that you have to finish by 3 days, and these are the most scoring ones. Remember, these are the easiest to score on subjects. Then we have the intermediate subjects which I feel universally most of these subjects are hated. We are going to give them 5 days max, so 4 to 5 days. So these are subjects: anatomy, biochemistry, physio, micro, pharma, ophthal and peds. So these are your intermediate category subjects, most of which are quite fact based. So you have biochem, you have anat, you have micro, you have pharma, ophthal also to a certain extent. So most of these are fact based and will need a lot of revision also. So these are subjects that I want to give 5 days right now and try and lessen the hate that we have towards them universally. So these are subjects which you want to give it a good understanding right now so that they do not haunt you later on. And then you have the long subjects which are going to take 7 days of time. So medicine, again, medicine is something that I would advise you to do in a systemic manner. So how I've also designed it is going to be such that we're doing physio, pharma, patho, medicine and radio together, right? So I'll show you, but this is how ideally, if you've mastered your physio, path and pharma, a lot of your medicine gets covered in the process. So I would advise you to do them together like I show you, but medicine we're giving it a good 7 days. Surgery, PSM, patho and obs gynae. So these are your subjects which are your big chunk which will constitute a lot of your clinical integrated questions, a lot of conceptual questions. So these are not very information heavy. Maybe PSM and obs gynae to a certain extent do have information, but rest of them, you will mainly get questions which are based on clinical scenarios, which are based on integrated vignettes that you want to solve on the basis of your long term knowledge and the clinical acumen that you're going to absorb while reading this. It's not going to be a direct replication of what you've studied, something that would happen in the short subject. So you're getting my point of how we've divided the subjects. Now how we do them is we mix things up, right? So this is also the timetable that I have according to the rapid revision module. So this fits in very well, these complement each other very well. So how I would have you do it is, for the first 2 weeks, let's say we're starting off now, the first 2 weeks you want to finish off 3 shorts, right? So blue color coding is for the short cute subjects and one intermediate category which is pediatrics. So this is a total of 14 days, right? So 3 shorts and then one 5 day wala subject. So 3 into 3 9 plus 1 5 is 14 days. So we have 2 weeks here for these 4 subjects. After that, in the next 3 weeks we have another 3 shorts, we have one intermediate and we have obs gynae as the long subject. So a total of 3 weeks. Next, we have 4 weeks wherein we are now doing integrated studying, right? So we are finishing off the conceptual subjects, that is physio, path and pharma. When you do this, your medicine tends to become easier and you can also integrate that with systemic radio. And finally, in December, for the 4 weeks, we have PSM, we have surgery, we have anat, biochem, and ophthal. So these are the more information heavy subjects, and that is why I've kept them towards the end so that there is more retention closer to the exam. I have also given you 6 days of buffer towards the end to finish off whatever is remaining. And if you notice, after everything, there is a gap of 2 days so that we can account for the grand test also, right? So grand test, I would advise you to start giving it once in 15 days. 1 in 15 days is very good enough frequency. You don't need to give it every week. I feel once in 15 days is good enough, and maybe after 31st of December, Jan and Feb, you can give it once a week. All right, so that would be the ideal frequency that I would advise you to do as far as GTs are concerned. So now coming up to the point where I come in is rapid revision, right? So this is what I have planned for you. This is what we are starting on the Plus platform, and this I haven't done it before on the Plus platform. This is the first time I'm doing it. So here we are going to be covering all 19 subjects, right? We're going to be covering all 19 subjects. So how it's been designed is in 6 modules. So this is going to be spanning across 6 whole months. Okay, so every module is 1 month. So the first module is September, October, November, December, and the months Jan and Feb. Yeah, so this is about the plan. So in September, these are the 4 subjects that we're going to be covering, which aligns with the timetable that I have also given you. Module 2, 3, 4 are going to be all 19 subjects. Following this, in January, we'll do a T&D course of all 19 subjects. So we'll be clubbing different subjects and we'll be rapidly doing an MCQ discussion which is based on previous year questions and potential questions. So that'll be like a quick run through. And last is BTR. Like I said, Buri Tara Rato. So this is the revision of the most volatile facts that we'll be doing in Feb, right? So this is actually, just like a study with me. So I'll be studying along with you through the 6 months, and then maybe we'll attempt the exam together. So this is how it's been planned. It begins on 22nd of September. And if you're interested in getting the subscription, there is an offer which is going on. So I think there's a good enough price, and it is not just my course. When you enroll to the Plus program, you're going to be getting subscription of any course, any past course or future course which is also going on the platform. You will get access to it, right? So this is an all access price, which is pretty good for 6 months. And if you use my code, that is ZVORA, you'll get that discount. Okay, and it also lets me know that you are enrolling it based on this class, so that's a good incentive for me. So this is ZVORA, which is the promo code that you can use to get this discount. Now going about the details of this course, right? What I'll be doing and how we'll be doing it. So as I said, 6 modules, 4 modules are going to be 19 subjects rapid revision, and then we have TND and BTR in Jan and Feb. So in the 4 modules, the agenda is going to be based on 2 things. One, we shall be doing previous year questions, and we'll be doing a rapid review of the high yield topics. So for every subject, my agenda would be something like how we've been doing for the MKT series. So those of you who are following me on the app, we have a series called 50 must know topics, which is a special class series. So therein, what we do is we study a topic, and then we practice all the possible questions which have come from this in the past, right? So this is what I'll be doing for this also. For example, let's say we are doing dermat, starting from derma tomorrow, right? So in the 2 classes that we have for derma, which are 1.5 hours each, what we'll do is whatever topics we're studying, let's say today I'm going to be studying papillosquamous and infections, the 2 broad categories. After that, I'll include all the possible questions from those topics which have been asked, and then in the next class, whatever are the topics. So that way we're completing all the PYQs of derma of the recent years. We're completing all the high yield topics. In addition, if we have other topics which I have covered in the past in Midnight Express, I'm sure you've all heard of MERS or MKTs, right? People keep asking me what to do about these if you're starting off fresh now. So if you are starting off fresh, in the same class, I will tell you if there are any pertinent Midnight Expresses or MKTs from that subject. Let's say I'm doing derma. I'll tell you that these are the classes that you want to see, so that simultaneously, complete closure of that subject is done based on at least whatever classes I have taken. Okay, so this is going to be the aim, wherein I will try to cover most of it in class so that you can finish off there and then. In case there are topics which I have covered in detail in MER and MKT and I would want you to see those classes, I will send you the links and I'll tell you the topic that these are the classes that you have to see to finish off this subject, right? So this is how it's going to be designed for every 19, for all 19 subjects. So similarly in September, these are the 4 classes that we're going to be doing. So derma is going to be 3 hours, peds is going to be 3 hours, ENT is going to be 3 hours, and FMT is going to be 3 hours. So these are all relatively shorter subjects, and the time is going to be 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. from 22nd to 30th, right? So this is designed such that simultaneously I want you to do your own thing. Okay, so I will let you know how you should also simultaneously study to make the most of it. I'll just get to it. Before that, I'll tell you the timetable. Module 2, these are the subjects. So we are going to be having 4 hours of ortho, 4 hours of psyche, 2 hours of anesthesia, 4 hours of micro, and 4 hours of obs gynae. So here we are going to have 2-hour classes from 5 to 7, and the timing is going to be from 10th to 31st. Then in the 3rd module that I was saying, I'll take it in an integrated fashion. So herein we'll be covering physio, path, pharma, medicine, and radio. Here I am going to have these classes, right? So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 systems that we're going to be covering, 2 hours each. So these are going to be 8 classes of 2 hours each, wherein we'll cover these 5 subjects in a systemic manner. So we'll have respi, we have GI, we have hemat, we have rheumatology, neurology, renal, CVS, and endocrine. So this is what we shall be doing in November, right? And I have planned it such that maximum classes will get over before INICT, so that exam going students can also make the most of it. A few systems might be after INICT also, but most of it is going to be before 13th is how I have planned it based on your suggestions. And December, finally, we'll have a NAT, surgery, PSM, ophthalmology, and biochem. Again, we are going to be having 16 hours in total spread out for these 5 subjects. As I said in module 5 in January, now we are going to have a T&D. So I've clubbed various subjects, begin small together, such that, in 6 classes, we can finish off these, and then we can have 2 miscellaneous, classes towards the end. So these are also going to be 2 hours each, wherein we'll be again doing a rapid review in a test and discussion. So herein where we'll be practicing MCQs and predominantly previous year questions from all of these subjects. And finally, in module 6 in February, we'll have 6 to 7 sessions wherein we'll be doing a BTR of a subject-wise BTR of the most volatile points. Okay. Yeah. So just to give you a tip, if I was in your place, how to best utilize the course, right? So the timeline in a very, very detailed pinpoint fashion, I have this for you. So you attend the class afresh. No need to come prepared anything. Just come with an open mind. Attend the class. After that, I will tell you these are the classes that I want you to see, which I have not covered here, just to squeeze in maximum information. I will tell you the links and the classes which I want you to supplement with. You see those classes, and after that, you now read the notes of that subject from whatever is your primary source, right? So whatever is the primary source that you've read dermat, let's continue with the dermat metaphor. Wherever you've read dermat from, you go back to the notes of that subject and you read it. And if you feel that there are some videos of any topic which is left or which is important, you just follow it up and you finish it off. Following this, I want you to solve the previous year question and question bank of that subject. This will be the final nail on the coffin when you know that you have read whatever needed to be read, and now you are testing your memory, you're testing your understanding. Solve as many MCQs as possible. So solve the previous year question and question bank of that subject, and whatever are the extra points, add it back to the notes. So simultaneously, as I was saying, it's very, very important that you make notes of this. So how to make the notes again will depend on two kinds of people. So if you are the kind of person who already has some sort of base notes, right, I would want you to integrate and consolidate everything here. Everything that you learn from my class, my other classes, and previous year questions, add it onto your base notes, and then maybe save the PDF for images, because I will include a lot of images in my classes just for the visual memory of it, right? So basically, this is what you do. In case you do not have any notes, maybe you are a final year student or you do not have notes yet, what you can do is you now make notes. You start making notes as this, right? So rapid revision notes are going to be your base, and you build it up, right? So you build up on it with your previous year question, with the other classes, and then whatsoever is your primary source, eventually when you're gonna read any subject from the dedicated source, you add it to those notes itself. So that way this class will become your base. Okay, so this is how you have to do. Simultaneously, you make a choti copy. Choti copy is like any book. So just take up a fresh copy, a fresh small sized book, right, and add the most volatile points. So choti copy is something that ideally should be revised on a daily basis before you go to sleep. Whenever you're traveling, you're an intern doing scut work, keep your choti copy along with you and keep revising. So only the most useful information goes in it. This is not your primary notes, right? Do not add everything in it. You just add the most volatile points, like numbers, like facts, like genes, chromosomes, IPC section, So these are the facts that you want to add here, and this you have to revise on a daily basis. So simultaneously, if you do not have a choti copy, or some people also call it the 20th book, if you do not haven't made it yet, you can start now. So subject wise manner, simultaneously in this whole process of how you're reading that subject, you keep adding points onto that, and you cumulatively revise it on a daily basis till your exam day, right? So this, I feel, is the perfect timetable. If I was in your place, I would have done this, and I would get closure that okay, I am completing my 19 subjects, till December, and then I have enough time to revise them. So this is the kind of timeline, and I cannot be more detailed than this in telling you what to do. So this is what you want to do in a sequential manner. And also what you can also do here is, whenever you are attending any class, after that just download the PDF, and then keep all of these 19 subject PDFs handy so that you can revise it before your test and discussion of January along with your primary notes. So these are going to be your two main sources of revision, and this is very crucial that you know what you need to do when we go to the next cycle. That is the whole point of these 4 months, that you collect the material that you know you want to revise in the second round and then in the third round, and you keep filtering it with every sequential round of revision. So this is how you best utilize the course. And finally, if this sounds good enough to you and you are willing to attend this, you can go to the app and you can subscribe and you can use my code, that is ZVORA, in order to do so. Just leaving you with this, so do not get overwhelmed with all 19 subjects, the amount of work, the amount of MCQs that you have. Just take it one day at a time, aim to do your best on the given day. Make a gross macro plan like I have suggested, and then divide every week, this is what I have to do, every day this is what I have to do, and try to do it to the best of your ability. If you can't, take it to the next day. But do not be overwhelmed thinking of the exam date. Do not be overwhelmed thinking of the long road ahead, and how you're going to be able to do it or not going to be able to do it, and what your friends are doing, what your parents are saying. Do not be worried about all of that. Just take it one day at a time. Take baby steps. Take care of your health, take care of your mental health, and just keep telling yourself, I'm taking it one day at a time. I want to give my best to whatever hours I have in a day. I'm going to give it my best. Okay, and I'm there with you all throughout, and I'm looking forward to having as many students as possible in this revision, and very excited to see you all. So see you tomorrow on the Plus program with Dermat. We're starting off with Dermat, and keep watching Unacademy videos, and I'll see you all soon. Stay tuned and let's crack it. Bye bye.